Vamshi had worked in the tech industry for almost a decade, consistently praised for his innovative thinking and collaborative spirit. He had recently been promoted to a senior role at a prestigious tech firm, a milestone he had been working towards for years. His excitement about the promotion, was soon overshadowed by a series of subtle but persistent slights that began to chip away at his enthusiasm. Now Vamshi doesn't have any idea about it. Let's continue his journey for his career. It started with meetings where his ideas were often ignored or brushed aside, only to be brought up later by one of his male colleagues as if they were his own. Uh, when he pointed out this pattern to his supervisor, he shrugged it off, suggesting he needed to be more assertive. Vamshi felt like his voice was muted in a room full of Telugu people, despite his position and experience, just because he is a Tamilian. And the supervisors were again and again discriminating against him just because he is a Tamilian and again favoring Telugu people. This is the story of Vamshi. At office social gatherings, he noticed he was often excluded from important conversations where key decisions were made informally. The camaraderie among the Telugu people in the office was palpable, with their inside jokes and shared interests. Vamshi, being the only Tamilian in his team, felt like an outsider. He wasn't interested in the same sports or video games they discussed, and attempts to engage in the conversations were often met with polite disinterest. Just like this incident where Vamshi's ideas were ignored, just like this. In that chit chat time of the team or the office people, whenever Vamshi tried to go and communicate with them, he was again and again like politely refused or like showed disinterested by the team people or the same office comrade, and like made even fun of him. They even made fun of him. uh, his concerns grew when he discovered he was being paid less. He was paid less than some of his Telugu colleagues who held similar roles with less experience. Vamshi raised the issue with HR, but the response was dismissive, citing confidentiality and vague explanations about market rates. It felt like a dead end, and his frustration mounted, just like this incident. Determined to create change, Vamshi started attending diversity and inclusion meetings within the company. He found a small group of like minded colleagues who shared his experience and frustrations. He found one person and like they met him and they met with each other. And they shared each other's emotions and their discrimination of being a Tamilian or other state person by the Telugu people, and they began to strategize on how to address the culture of discrimination they were facing, focusing on raising awareness and pushing for policy changes. And this is how it went. Their efforts were not welcomed by everyone. Vamshi faced backlash from some colleagues who accused him of playing the other state card or creating division. The company leadership, wary of bad publicity, was slow to act. Despite these obstacles, Vamshi and his group persisted, using their voice to call for greater transparency in salary structures and more inclusive practices in the workplace. They even tried to, like, again and again, be kind and be gentle with the other person. They tried to communicate with them, but again and again being ignored by them by various factors, not getting any attention from them, and not even having a single friend from the Telugu community in the office. They were again and again disrespected by them. How much they tried, they worked very delicate, but they were not respected in the office. They were not given the equal position of the company, equal position in the company, same as the Telugu community. They were again and again mocked and laughed at, just like this. Yeah. The turning point came when a major tech publication exposed the company's discriminatory practices, amplifying the voice of Vamshi and his group. The public outcry was swift and intense, forcing the company's leadership to take their concerns seriously. New policies were implemented to ensure pay equity, and training programs were launched to promote a more inclusive workplace culture. The discrimination was stopped, and the idiot higher ups were removed from the company, and that's it. Vamshi's journey wasn't easy, and the battle for equality was far from over. But through his resilience and the support of his colleagues, he had made a significant impact. He knew that the road ahead would be challenging, but he was determined to keep pushing for a workplace where everyone, regardless of state-wise, gender, or anything, could feel valued and respected. The challenge he had, the changes he helped bring about were a step.